Good morning and welcome to a review of Akiba Maid War, or you can call it Akiba Underground War. Now, last week's episode we didn't get a lot of kill counts in this one. We didn't get a lot, but this episode we did. Now, this episode was about birthdays. Yes, it's birthdays. We got Maya's birthday from Bang Dream, from Pasta Palettes, which is Maya's my third favorite character in the pastel palette group. And today in America is Armin's birthday from Attack on Titan, that bob cut looking ass no fighting guy. All that said, today is Ranko's birthday and she's turning 36. So happy birthday, Ranko. And the thing, she's 36. But my birthday's coming up in a couple of weeks and I'll be 32, which by the way, I'm going to Anime NYC, and I've got an after party. So yeah, we're all good. But again, this episode was about birthdays, and when it comes to birthdays in the Akiba Maid War, there will be a lot of drama. Again, I'm not surprised, because again, this is an underground maid war, where there's rules and there's be killing. And just like this episode, we got it. So let's get right to the review of Akiba Maid War, episode 5. Now, Nagami, I get this girl's dream to come in a maid cafe, but we gotta understand something. Every episode's gonna have a beginning where just like something bad is gonna happen. And just like the beginning, we got a scene where once again she facing real danger, where she on a bucket, a giant ass bucket full of blood, which is by the way was tomato juice. So that's a different story in another show. But Akiba Maid War always does this when they got the first, like something's happening that we're going to see from an episode into a point where like, what led to this? Just like last week when she fell off, where the sergeant threw her off the building and we got to see how that led to that. So with this one, same thing. Tied up with Ranko and a giant bucket with a sheep. So how did I get to it? Well, here's the thing. The Pig Cafe is in a huge debt. They on the E tiers of all cafes. While everybody else is at a D tier, C, B, A, and S tiers, like high class cafes, the Pig Cafe is on a low tier cafe. To a point where it's like, you don't want to go. You don't want to go, that's all. But they're trying to bring away, not only they're in debt, but they're trying to bring more attention towards the audience. What can they do? Well, you got the manager and them just making these flower petals while the two gentlemen just go and eat. I'm like, this is ridiculous. But it is hilarious at some point. So as you're trying to pass out flyers with pixelated ink, which you had a budget on, they're like, why don't you do a birthday event? Every cafe does that. See, the thing is, anytime a maid birthday is on the day, they celebrate it. But this episode had the weirdest plot points, like the wildest plot point I've seen. So like, okay, whose birthday is coming next? Oh, now again, when it comes to birthdays, matter of fact, when it comes to age, you know what they say: a woman must never reveal their weight. They don't want to reveal their age, because they feel like when they reveal their age, you're gonna be like, oh, you're too young, you're too old. I don't want to date you. I don't do that. I get that. Ranko, on the other hand, fearless as ever, top 3 best girl of the fall. She's admitted, she's like, I'm turning 36 in 2 days. I'm turning 36. And I'm like, wow, she's 36? I'm surprised no one didn't date her. I'm turning 32. I gotta date Ranko. She's 36, I'm 32. I'm turning 32. That's good enough for me. But anyway, back to what I was saying. What can we do to make Ranko's birthday good? So I love how the manager and the rest of them pretend to not care about Ranko's birthday. They just put on an act to get enough money for a cake nonetheless. But that's here and there. Nagami is trying so hard for Ranko's birthday, for 2 days, trying to plan things. And Ranko has these crazy ideas that make you like, you know what? That's my type of party. I don't care how perverted it is or how weird it is. I want to have that birthday. So she's like, okay, let's invite more people. And I'm like, no, don't do it. From that point on, the moment she went to another cafe, I'm like, One, she's stupid. And two, have you not learned from all the previous cafes that you went? They are dangerous. They could pull on a fake smile. And I'm like, you don't see that? By the way, Akiba Maid War, I kind of like look at it from a Zombieland Saga. It felt some Zombieland Saga vibe, mainly because of how they acted. But that's all that. But anyway, they go to a cafe, a sheep cafe. You know, where they be selling fluffy stuff like fluffy cotton candy, fluffy cupcakes, that kind of thing. So they're like, oh, it's your birthday? Oh, my birthday's the same too. And all the customers was laughing at Ranko because, oh, she's turning 36. Oh, because she's fat. First of all, she ain't fat. Who I would have. Ooh, let me tell you this. When I saw that little line when he said she's fat, dude, I wanted to beat the shit out of that guy. I would have, as Ranko fans, I would have read in that cafe and punched him in the face for disrespecting her because one, she ain't fat, and two, I don't care how old she is, she's a good maid. Come on, 36 years old and she still kicks ass? Fucking kill this guy. Kill this guy. So they making fun of her like, oh, look at this invitation. It's all black and white. Okay, who gives a crap? Yo, they worked hard. Now, as they're approaching home, we did get a little flashback of Ranko's backstory. We got a little bit of that. Because back then, Ranko was like Nagami back in the days. Where Ranko was all sweet and innocent, don't resolve conflicts. Back then, she wasn't like that. But now that we see the evolution, the rise of Ranko now from a sweet, innocent girl don't like conflicts, not using guns, to this. And then when these other maid cafes from the sheep cafe grabbing, about to beat the shit out of them, Ranko did fought back. But the head boss of the cafe herself grabbed Nagami and said, y'all coming with me. And then they tied them up, which we got from the beginning, tied them up in a bucket of tomato juice. Not blood, which Nagami's all freaking out. And they left the sheep there. And you know what's funny? I like how the sheep is just having fun. This sheep is just having fun while Ranko and Nagami are tied up in a chair. The sheep himself is just swimming around in tomato juice and on top of Nagami's head trying to survive. And they're trying to drink tomato juice while trying to survive. But it's like, Nagami is like, oh, it's tomato juice. We're fine. I'm like, really? Really? You're in a big old barrel full of tomato juice, and you're going to be fine with that? Okay, drink the whole thing. I dare you. Try drinking the whole thing and see if you can survive that. But leave it to that panda. Leave it to that panda mascot. He or she. Leave it to that panda that is doing things. Leave it to them that he saw, like the panda saw everything and told them where they're at. And at the same time, though, that happened, they all, they were all planning from the beginning of the whole Ranko's birthday. They were just acting out like we ain't gonna help on this. You know, even though Ranko was putting up decorations, I should have mentioned this earlier, even though Ranko was putting up decorations for the birthday, you know, but others, they were just trying to make it look like we don't care, but they do care. Okay, now, funny thing, they came in, these pig cafes, yo, I would love to go. I'll be their #1 fan when I go see them. If I was in that era, I would have gone with them every single day. I would have gone in that cafe every single day and just say hi. I would. Okay. They charged in with pipes and a horde full of sheep maids. And they beat the holy hell out of them. They beat the shit out of them. And I'm like, oh my God. Not only they saved them, but they killed the entire sheep cafe. I mean, the sheep maids. And I counted it. I kind of counted how many they killed. And I think they killed at least 10. 9 are dead. And then the head sheep herself, she's like, why are you selling, like, got on crazy to a point where they shot her and they killed her. Now, here's the thing. I was surprised. I thought the MC herself got some guts to shoot her. But it was actually the other girl, the other maid with the pigtails, shot her. And I'm like, damn. I guess they're not just Your Ordinary Maids. I think they're bad. I mean, they were badass from the beginning, but I never thought like they had like Zora. I can understand Zora. Ranko, I can understand Ranko. But the other two mates, I didn't think they had the guts to do it. Like killing. I mean, we did see them use a gun before, but to shoot them like that, cold blooded, like right there, I was like, wow, wow. And it's like, don't mess with the pigs. That's the thing right there. Don't mess with the pigs. And it's like, it's like you took down one of the zodiacs. Like if you look at the Chinese zodiac, for example, in terms of like the ox, the sheep, the pigs, and the pigs is dead last. So it's good reminiscent of a Chinese zodiac where the pig is dead last, and no one don't give a crap about the pig. Now the panda, Ranko and the panda stole the show. When that panda, now, you know what? Let me get to that panda later. But let me get you. I love the English dialogue where they said, "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you." They were saying it in English. I was literally like, "Oh my God!" My jaw dropped when they were singing in English for Uncle's birthday, even though the cake was half eaten up. Even though the cake was half eaten up by the manager. I mean, the manager got the cake frosting. I love how when it comes to characters and they eat the cake and it's like, whose fault it is? They had that cake frosting. You'd be like, he or she did it? That's what they did. And I like, after all that, Ranko enjoy her birthday, covered in tomato juice, just like Agami is covered in tomato juice. And it looked good in red. They look good in red. Seeing them covered in tomato juice was really good. And and Ranko having her own birthday dance. I love Ranko's dance performance. I love her mic skills. Really good. And I like how the ending, it was just her cake. But then towards the end, the panda, remember I said about the panda stole the show? The panda stole the show. The panda grabbed, before they left the sheep cafe, the panda grabbed all the funds from them. He grabbed the funds from the sheep cafe and gave it to the manager. Now they off debt, but here's where I find this very funny and interesting. They stole money from one of the best, if not one of the best cafes in that era of Akiba. Now the pig cafe is not going to be in debt, but once it's like the head honcho is gonna figure it out what the fuck's going on. And everybody's like, oh God, next week is gonna be one hell of a ride. Now that the cat's out of the bag, now the sheep cafe is destroyed, I'm like, oh my God. All hell is gonna break. I hope all hell is gonna break loose next week. I knew something bad might happen. I got this feeling in my gut something's gonna happen. But again, you're talking about, and now I learned when it comes to watching this episode. If two or three maids have a birthday on the same day, all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. Now, again, happy birthday, Ranko. Happy birthday, turning 36. And I will say this. If in that era, I would invite my friends to come see you and say happy birthday. Or go to cafe, go in there and celebrate it. I don't care. I would have bring my friends and go to that cafe. I'm dead serious. And I'm pretty sure you and everyone else felt the same way. But again, this was a good episode. I look forward for next week's episode of Akiba Maid War. And I'm pretty sure everyone is as well. Now, we're halfway through the episode, so let's see where this goes. We'll see where this goes. So, I look forward for next week's episode of it, and I'm sure you will.